Hello, my dears. Happy Friday. So, have you ever had this happen where you're talking with an American coworker, neighbor, classmate, or someone you just met, and at the end of the conversation, they say, "We should hang out." And you think, great, they want to be friends. So you wait and wait and wait. But nothing happens. No text, no invitation, no plan, no coffee, no hangout. And then you start wondering, did I misunderstand? Did I do something wrong? Were they being fake? Do Americans just say things they don't mean? Well, if this happened to you, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most confusing American English social phrases. We should hang out. You'll learn what it really means, when it's sincere, when it's just polite, and how to respond naturally without feeling awkward or disappointed. Hi, I'm Gabby from Go Natural English, your host and English fluency coach. And this is the Private Fluency Podcast, where you'll learn real English that people actually use in daily life, not just textbook English. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to understand this phrase like a native speaker. So here's the problem. In English class, you probably learned that when someone says, "we should hang out," it sounds like a real invitation because the words are clear. "We should" means it's a good idea, it's a suggestion. "Hang out" means to spend time together casually. And "sometime" means in the future. So naturally, you think, oh, great, they're inviting me to do something. But in American English, the words are only part of the meaning. And that's why I love talking about the cultural aspect, not just the words, but how we really use them and what we really mean. The other part here is social context. Sometimes Americans say, "we should hang out sometime." And they really mean, I like you. I enjoy talking to you. I'm open to spending time together. But other times it means, this was nice. I want to end the conversation warmly. I don't have a real plan. That does not always mean they're lying. It means they're using a soft, friendly, casual expression. In American culture, people often use positive language to keep the mood light. So instead of saying, "well, goodbye, I probably will never see you again," they say, "yeah, we should hang out sometime." It feels warm, it feels friendly, and it keeps the door open. But it may not be a serious plan yet. So let's look closely at the phrase, "we should hang out sometime." In many languages and cultures, this might sound like a commitment. But in American English, "we should" can be very soft. It often means, that would be nice, not, I'm making a plan with you right now. This is important. When Americans say, "we should grab coffee," or "we should get together," or "we should do this again," or "we should catch up sometime," they may be expressing a friendly interest, not making a confirmed appointment. The key word is usually sometime. Sometime is vague. It does not answer when, where, what time, who is confirming. So here's a simple fluency rule. A vague invitation like sometime is not a plan. A specific invitation with a time and a place is a plan. Let me say that again. A vague invitation is not a plan. A specific invitation is a plan. So if someone says, "we should hang out sometime," that is friendly but vague. If someone says, "do you want to grab coffee this Friday around 10 a.m.?" this is much more real. So let's compare. Polite, vague invitations sound like this. "We should hang out sometime." "Let's get together soon." "We should grab coffee one of these days." "I'll let you know." "Yeah, we'll figure something out." These phrases are friendly but not specific. Now, real invitations usually include details. Are you free this weekend? Do you want to grab coffee on Tuesday? A few of us are going to dinner Friday. You should come. Can I text you and set something up? What does your schedule look like next week? Do you hear the difference? A real invitation usually has a specific time, movement. It moves toward a plan. There is a day, a time, maybe even a place, a question, a follow-up. A vague invitation stays in the air. It sounds nice, but it doesn't land anywhere. So let's learn the main phrase. We should hang out sometime. Remember to repeat after me when you hear a key phrase like this. Now, we should hang out sometime means it would be nice to spend time together casually. But the key is tone and context. So if someone says this quickly while leaving, like, yeah, we should hang out sometime, it might just be polite enthusiasm. That means that they're showing friendly energy, but not necessarily making a real plan. So here's how you can respond naturally. Yeah, that would be fun. This is a safe, friendly, natural phrase. You're not pushing too hard, and you're not really trying to confirm anything yet. Or another response. Definitely, let me know. This is also natural. But remember, if they don't follow up, don't take it personally. A stronger response would be, yeah, I'd love that. Are you free sometime next week? This moves the conversation from vague to specific. That's how you test whether it's real. Not aggressively, not awkwardly, just naturally. Here's the next phrase. Let's get together soon. This phrasal verb, get together, means to meet socially, like meet up. For example, we should get together soon. A few friends are getting together this weekend. Let's get together for lunch. Again, if someone says, let's get together soon, it may be sincere, but it's not yet a plan. You can respond, I'd like that, or that sounds great. Or if you want to make it more real, I'd like that. What days are usually good for you? That question is very useful. What days are usually good for you? It sounds casual, not needy. You're not saying, please be my friend, tell me exactly when. You're simply opening the door for a real plan. The next phrase, we should grab coffee. Grab coffee means to get coffee casually. It doesn't always mean that you will literally sit for 2 hours in a beautiful cafe and have a deep conversation. It just can mean let's meet casually. Let's talk. Let's connect. Let's catch up. For example, we should grab coffee sometime. Do you want to grab coffee next week? Let's grab coffee after the meeting. The phrase grab coffee feels casual and low pressure. That's why Americans use it so much. If someone says, we should grab coffee sometime, you can say, yeah, I'd be up for that. To be up for something means willing or interested. For example, I'd be up for coffee. I'd be up for lunch. I'd be up for meeting next week. This sounds natural, relaxed, and confident. So how do you know if someone really means it? Look for follow-up. This is key. The phrasal verb follow up means to continue communication after the first conversation. For example, she said we should hang out, but she never followed up. Or, I'll follow up with you next week. A real invitation usually includes a follow-up. They might text you. They might ask for your number. They might say, what's your schedule like? They might suggest a day. They might say, let's make it happen. This phrase is important. Let's make it happen. This means let's actually do this. It has more action than we should hang out sometime. If you want to sound natural and confident, you can say, yes, let's make it happen. Or, I'd love that. Let's make it happen. This gives positive energy and gently moves toward action. Now let's talk about a phrase that can be confusing. I'll let you know. This means I'll tell you later. But socially, it can mean many things. Sometimes it means I need to check my schedule. Sometimes it means I don't want to say no directly. For example, you say, do you want to grab coffee this weekend? And they say, yeah, I'll let you know. That could be real, but if they never let you know, that probably means they were being polite, not serious. So this is really common in American culture because many people avoid direct rejection. So instead of saying, no, I don't want to hang out, they say, I'll let you know. Is that confusing? Yes. Is it always the best communication? No. But is it common? Yes, it is very common. So here's your cultural tip. Don't treat I'll let you know as a confirmed yes. Treat it as a maybe. And a maybe is not rejection. It's just not a plan yet. So let's talk about how to respond without sounding needy or too intense. This is the part that many people worry about. You might think, if I ask again or if I follow up, will I sound desperate? Not necessarily. It depends how you ask. Here are natural ways to follow up. Hey, are you still up for coffee sometime? This sounds casual. No pressure, but I'd still be happy to get together if you're free. This sounds emotionally mature and relaxed. Want to try for next week? This is very natural. Would Tuesday or Thursday work better for you? This is more specific. And if they still stay vague, you can step back. For example, if they say, yeah, things are just really busy right now, you can say, I totally understand. Maybe another time. That phrase is gold. Maybe another time. It's warm, polite, and protects your dignity. You're not chasing, you're simply leaving the door open. So let's review some useful phrasal verbs for this social situation. First, to hang out, which means to spend casual time together. We should hang out sometime. This verb itself is very vague because to hang out really could mean anything. It just means to spend time together. Next, to get together is to meet socially. Let's get together soon. Third, to follow up means to continue after the first conversation. I'll follow up with you next week. Next, to reach out means to contact someone. Feel free to reach out if you want to set something up. Next, to pin down is to make something specific or definite. Let's pin down a time. This is a great phrase. If the plan is vague, you can say, let's pin down a time. It means let's choose the actual time. Let's make this definite. Sixth, to put off is to delay. We kept putting it off, so we never actually met. Next, to come up means to happen or appear unexpectedly. Something came up, so I had to cancel. Next, to circle back means to return to a topic or an invitation later. Let's circle back next week. Next, to fall through is when a plan fails or doesn't happen. Our coffee plans fell through. Next, to set something up means to arrange a plan. Let's set something up for next week. These are incredibly useful for real-life American English. Now, let's hear what this sounds like in a real conversation. Imagine you're talking to a coworker after a nice conversation. Your coworker says, "This was fun. We should hang out sometime." And you say, "Yeah, I'd like that. Maybe we could grab coffee next week." Your coworker says, "That sounds good." So you say, "Cool. What days are usually good for you?" Your coworker says, "Usually Wednesdays or Fridays." So you say, "Nice. Want to try for Friday morning?" Your coworker says, "Yeah, that could work." So you say, "Great. Let's pin down a time later this week." Notice now what happened. You didn't just say, "Okay." You responded warmly, and then you gently made it more specific. You said, "Maybe we could grab coffee next week." And then, "What days are usually good for you?" And then, "Want to try for Friday morning?" This is how Americans turn a vague social comment into a real plan. Now, what if they don't follow through? Maybe they say, "Yeah, definitely," but then nothing happens. This can feel hurtful. But I want you to remember something. In American culture, a lot of people are busy, distracted, overwhelmed with work and family and all their obligations, and honestly, not always great at following through socially. It does not mean that they dislike you. Sometimes people like the idea of friendship, but they don't make time for it. Sometimes they're being polite. Sometimes they're overcommitted. Sometimes they're socially lazy. And sometimes the connection just wasn't strong enough yet. So don't automatically make it mean my English was bad. They don't like me. I'm not interesting. I failed. No, it may have nothing to do with you. So here's a healthy mindset. Match their energy. If they're vague, stay friendly, but don't overinvest. If they follow up, great. If they don't, keep living your life. You can be warm without chasing. You can be open without waiting. This is social confidence. Okay, now it's your turn. Repeat after me. We should hang out sometime. Yeah, that would be fun. Let's get together soon. I'd like that. We should grab coffee. I'd be up for that. Are you free sometime next week? What days are usually good for you? Let's make it happen. Let's pin down a time. I'll follow up with you. Feel free to reach out. No pressure. Maybe another time. Our plans fell through. Something came up. Let's circle back next week. Now, if you want me to go slower, you can always go back and play that on a slower speed, so you can repeat after me with more time. But if you like it fast or natural speed, you can just shadow, say the words after me. You can go back and listen again to practice. Okay, now let's practice a short mini dialogue. Repeat the second line. We should hang out sometime. Yeah, I'd like that. We should grab coffee. I'd be up for that. Let's get together soon. Definitely. What days are usually good for you? I'll let you know. Sounds good. Maybe another time if this week is too busy. The last one's very natural and emotionally balanced. You're not cold, you're not desperate, you're just confident. I'll tell you a quick personal story. Even as a native English speaker, I've had moments where I took a casual invitation more seriously than the other person meant it. Years ago, I remember meeting someone at an event, and we had a really nice conversation. And at the end, she said, "Oh my gosh, we should totally hang out sometime." And I thought, great, new friend. So later, I reached out and said something like, "Hey, do you want to grab coffee next week?" And she replied, "Yeah, that'd be fun. I'll let you know." And then nothing. At first, I felt a little embarrassed. I thought, was I too direct? Did I misunderstand? But later I realized, no, she probably enjoyed the conversation with me. She probably meant the warmth and friendliness, but she may not have meant the plan. Maybe she got busy. That's the difference. Sometimes people mean the feeling, but not the logistics. They mean, I like you, but not necessarily, I am ready to put this on my calendar along with all my other obligations. And once you understand that, you stop taking it so personally. And that's powerful because fluency, it's not just grammar or vocabulary. Fluency is understanding what people really mean socially. So here's a bonus cultural tip. Many Americans avoid saying a direct no in casual social situations. Instead of saying, "No, I don't want to hang out," they may say, "I'm pretty busy these days," or "I'll let you know." "We'll see." "Maybe sometime." "Things are crazy right now." These are often soft no's. A soft no is not a direct rejection. It's polite. It's indirect. It's a way to avoid committing. Now, this can be frustrating if you come from a culture where yes means yes and no means no. But in American English, especially socially, people often try to protect the other person's feelings, so they keep things soft. Your job is not to force clarity from everyone. Your job is to recognize the cue. If someone gives you one soft maybe, you can follow up once. If they keep being vague, just let it go gracefully. This is advanced social fluency. And here's today's big fluency tip. Don't only translate the words. Read the situation. If you translate "we should hang out sometime" word for word, you may think they're inviting me. But if you read the situation, you ask, did they suggest a day? Did they ask for my number? Did they follow up? Did they make any effort? Did the conversation move toward a real plan? This is how native speakers understand meaning. They don't just listen to words. They listen to tone, timing, energy, and follow through. And this leads perfectly into our next episode. Tomorrow, we're talking about stop translating in your head. Do this instead. Because so many English learners get stuck because they translate every word from their first language into English. But real fluency is not word-by-word translation. Real fluency is understanding meaning in context. And that's exactly what we're going to work on next. So quickly, let's review. Today you learned that "we should hang out sometime" is often friendly but vague. It doesn't always mean that there's a real plan. A vague invitation is not a plan. A specific invitation is a plan. You learned natural phrases like, "Yeah, that would be fun." "I'd be up for that." "What days are usually good for you?" "Let's make it happen." Let's pin down a time. Maybe another time. You also learned phrasal verbs like to hang out, to get together, to follow up, to reach out, to pin down, to put off, to come up, to circle back, to fall through, and to set something up. So most importantly, you learned not to take vague American social invitations too personally. Sometimes people are sincere, but sometimes they're just being polite. And sometimes they like the idea, but they don't actually follow through. So that doesn't mean that your English failed. It means you're learning the deeper layer of American communication. So before we finish, I want you to remember this. You don't need to understand every social situation perfectly, because even native speakers sometimes wonder, wait, did they actually mean that? Or are they just being nice? So if you feel confused sometimes, you're not broken, you're not bad at English, you're learning culture, nuance, the patterns, and you're learning how to communicate in real life situations. So this is advanced situational awareness. This is advanced fluency. And the more you notice these patterns, the more confident you'll feel. You'll stop overthinking, you'll stop waiting for vague people, and you'll start responding with warmth, clarity, and confidence. That's real English. That's real life. So you can do this. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Bye for now.